Right, so here we are looking at a typical kind of development site. So this is a bank in East Sussex, where basically the bank have pulled out of the high street, which is pretty common nowadays. Kind of banks are sort of giving up with that. You can go to the post office, do a lot of your banking, and then you'll find the actual branches are really in the major cities. This is a sort of really good type of property to look at as some kind of development. The issues that you'll have with this sort of property that you need to kind of be aware of is that on the ground floor it's commercial, it goes straight out onto a high street, so you're unlikely to get permission to convert that to residential. And obviously you've got to look at things like there's a massive ceiling height, but actually when you divide the property into various minimum heights, it doesn't quite meet the desired standard to get 4 properties in there. So then you've added extra costs of going up in the roof or raising the top of the building, planning permission, all that kind of stuff. And then there's one major thing about banks that are really kind of quite costly to deal with, but it's just part of buying a bank really, is that they normally have some kind of safe or safe room built into them, and they cost an absolute fortune to get rid of. If you can kind of build that into your development, then you're going to save yourself quite a lot of money. But unfortunately, removal, disposal, cutting them up, that kind of stuff is a really big task. As you can see, we had my architect here, one of the ones that we work with locally. We've worked with a few, so it's always good to spread of people that you can access, and really just bouncing some ideas off of them as to what we would want to do with it and what the numbers would add up for us. So really in this particular instance, we're looking at maybe trying to create a second entrance on the front of the building so that you can get residential upstairs. We're trying to get 4 units plus retain the commercial unit downstairs. If we can get that, the figures do stack up. Unfortunately, I think the cost of it might be a bit prohibitive just because of the nature of the building, but what we're actually looking at is really, can we indicatively do this sort of thing, and can we get it to work on 3 properties if that's what we get stuck. So we've got our option A, which is 4 properties and a commercial unit, and option B, which is 3 residential units and then the commercial unit, and then we can run the figures from there. Hopefully that's been quite useful as to kind of why we're looking at this bank. We look at lots of deals like this. You probably look at 10 before you might even think about putting an offer in for one, and then that might not get accepted, might fall through. So you need to see a lot of properties in order to get that kind of golden goose, the one that's really profitable for you.